long ago did you produce the painting?
2 years ago.
And that was as a result of the cumulative evidence that you've been collecting
Yes,
over the last 7
it was
years?
actually what I tried to do. We didn't have a close-up portrait of the cat, so all the number of witnesses that are described the place, and the Steve Joyce cut photographs, and the beach photographs, I analysed them. I tried to work from using a jeweller's glass to try and get the dimensions correct, and I tried to reproduce, as best I could, a painting of what a live cat of that type would probably look like. It's not very easy working from decaying dead cat pictures, but it was better than trying to show the ordinary public photographs of decaying dead cats and saying, is this what you saw? Because not many people, scientists might be quite happy with dead bodies, but the ordinary public aren't. So it was a case of doing a pretty portrait of what I believe the people had seen and asking them if it was correct. It was done purely as an exercise to show people what I thought they had seen.
And you'd never shown that picture to, apart from Mark Craig, any of the other people who had appeared upon it?
No, I actually did it 2 years ago, and I put it to one side. I hadn't used it for anything, actually.
John, the other day something happened to your Bobbington.
I was driving along and I saw a road corpse on my left. I had a look at it. I thought, oh my God, it's a giant cat. So I got out the vehicle and had a look at it, and what I saw, I was literally in shock for the next hour, because I was not looking at a known species of animal I had ever seen before, or indeed an animal known to science as far as I was aware, because the animal I was looking at seemed to be very fat around the neck. It had a huge body. Its body itself was about 4.5 feet long. Its tail was about 3 foot long. It was a giant. If it was a cat, it was the most giant cat I'd ever seen in my life. Its nose was different to any other cat. It was very pug-like and squashed in. Its teeth were different than a normal cat. Its ears were very pricked up. Even though the animal had been dead for about a week, its ears still remained quite pricked up, which was rather unusual. Its feet were different than a normal cat. They were longer, more like a dog's, and its claws actually did not look retractile. They looked very, very odd indeed. Very big indeed, but they were not retractile. Basically, the animal looked similar to a mastiff dog. I looked at the dentition of the animal in the mouth. It had what looked to me like characteristics of both dog and cat. I think I counted 4 carnassial teeth and not 3, but not as many as a dog. It looked really odd. It was really, really bizarre. The other thing about it, it was covered in maggots and sticking to high heaven. At that moment I couldn't take any part of it, so I thought I will leave it until I came back. That day was a Sunday, and there was something happening in this MOD base, so there was people milling around, and as other people had stopped to look at this dead animal, it was a bit of a centre of attraction. Anyhow, on my way back a few hours later, the animal was not there. It was nowhere to be seen, and a check a few days later along the verges proved nothing whatsoever.
And how badly damaged was the corpse?
Well, it had been hit by a military vehicle anyhow, so it was basically crushed. Its head had been crushed and half of its body had been crushed.
And prior to the other people, you haven't seen Guy's?
I have never seen any of Di's information before regarding the cat.
Okay, first of all, you, John, what did you think when you compared the photograph that you'd taken with Di's drawing?
I certainly thought there were a few similarities. The thickness of the head, of the neck, the head, the shape of the head, the very bluntness of the front of the face, the very pug-like nose and the ears were very, very consistent with my photograph, and I was quite surprised actually. And if it was the same size or or slightly smaller than the animal I had found, well then the similarities would be even greater.